Ivanka Trump has always drawn attention, whether via her glitzy red carpet outings or her position as a prominent political figure. However, even people used to being in the spotlight occasionally have private moments. Unexpected images of Ivanka on the beach have just surfaced, showing her in unguarded, vulnerable moments, causing quite a stir. These pictures expose a side of Ivanka that starkly contrasts her polished public image, provoking discussions and inquiries throughout the media. Why are these pictures so fascinating? Is there more to the story than first appears? Watch as we learn the meaning behind these unexpected photos and what they tell us about Ivanka's private life. Ivanka Trump's unfiltered Miami moment. Known for her polished public image, Ivanka Trump has frequently been seen in opulent locations, but one day in Miami captured the public's interest. In contrast to her typically elegant look, the former first daughter was photographed in a relaxing setting with her family. Critics seized upon the pictures, analyzing her every action, even if the setting's simplicity revealed a more vulnerable side. The controversy grew as these images provoked debates about privacy and public scrutiny, posing the question of how much access the public should have to the private lives of a private citizen, even one as well-known as Ivanka. Ivanka usually chooses her public appearances carefully, but these pictures of the seashore were different. They displayed an unvarnished and unpolished version of her without the editing of expert photographers. Her expressions were unguarded, the lighting was less favorable, and it provoked discussions about how much we want celebrities to be on even when they're not. While some admirers value genuineness, others interpret this as evidence that even the Trump administration has private times. JFKs relaxing retreats. For President John F. Kennedy and his family, the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport, Massachusetts was a treasured getaway. This seaside retreat served as a setting for rest, family time, and even political debates. The property came to represent the Kennedy family's history with its expansive vistas of Nantucket Sound. JFK had unofficial strategy meetings with key advisors, played touch football, and sailed the ocean. His charm was evident in the property, which combined leadership with relaxation. The Kennedy family kept getting together there over the years, solidifying its status as a representation of their lasting impact on American history. The Kennedy family's beach vacations gained a dash of glitz thanks to Jackie Kennedy, the embodiment of elegance. Even in informal settings, Jackie's effortless style made her a fashion icon, whether lounging under a parasol or strolling down the shore. Her beachfront experiences with JFK and their kids formed a picture of a perfect family life. In addition to being intimate recollections, these pictures played a significant role in the Kennedy mystique by encapsulating a unique blend of style and relatability that the American people found appealing. The Obamas Hawaiian escapes. Hawaii was more than just a vacation spot for President Barack Obama. It was his home. Born in Honolulu, Obama frequently spent the holidays in the islands with his family. Thanks to these travels, he could appreciate the relaxed Hawaiian way of life and reconnect with his roots. Obama's stay in Hawaii, which included visiting his boyhood haunts and dining at local restaurants, demonstrated the value of maintaining one's composure in the face of leadership responsibilities. Michelle Obama frequently made news for her beach appearances while on vacation in Hawaii. Her easy yet stylish look, which included everything from comfortable sundresses to functional swimwear, demonstrated her charm and self-assurance. Michelle's presence on Hawaii's beaches shows her ability to balance her first ladyship and her persona as a personable and approachable individual. In addition to being intimate, her free time served as motivation for those who valued her sincerity. Eisenhower's golf getaways. Known as the golfing president, President Dwight D. Eisenhower had a strong interest in golf and used it to unwind and even conduct diplomatic relations. During his presidency, he played over 800 rounds and often visited Augusta National Golf Club, where he had an honorary membership. The Eisenhower tree, which notably blocked Eisenhower's strokes on the 17th hole, was named after him by Augusta because of his loyalty. His passion for golf was more than just a pastime. It was a platform for unofficial diplomacy, which helped him establish connections with military and political leaders. Eisenhower maintained that golf helped him decompress and approach issues from a different angle, despite others criticizing his frequent excursions. As a tribute to his enthusiasm, he installed a putting green in the White House. Despite the criticism, Eisenhower's interest in golf established a precedent, and several successors adopted it as a presidential pleasure. Clinton's Martha's Vineyard summers. Because of his affection for Martha's Vineyard, Bill Clinton made the charming island a symbol of his presidency. Clinton, Hillary, and Chelsea spent every summer taking in the island's charms, cycling, reading on the beach, and dining at neighborhood eateries. They frequently stayed at novelist William Styron's house in Chilmark, enjoying its seclusion and natural beauty. The Clintons were welcomed by the close-knit community on the island, and their visits were hailed as a custom. Clinton's holidays weren't without work, despite the tranquility. He regularly convened unscheduled meetings with personnel to balance his time with presidential responsibilities. Residents remember Clinton frequently interacting with them, pausing for ice cream or a quick conversation. His notorious love for a nearby seafood restaurant, where he allegedly relished clam chowder, is one intriguing anecdote. Martha's Vineyard solidified its status as a refuge for American leaders by serving as more than just a vacation destination. It became a platform for Clinton's magnetism. George W. Bush's ranch retreats. During his administration, George W. Bush sought refuge at the Prairie Chapel Ranch near Crawford, Texas. The ranch, which emphasized simplicity and rural American traditions, contrasted with lavish retreats and reflected Bush's grounded personality. Bush claimed that clearing brush, a physically taxing task, improved his thinking ability. Bush invited foreign leaders like Tony Blair and Vladimir Putin for casual but influential talks at the ranch, which also functioned as a center for international diplomacy. Known as ranch summits, these gatherings represented Bush's attempt to build trust in a casual environment. Critics accused him of being aloof and questioned his numerous travels, especially during emergencies like Hurricane Katrina. Bush, however, justified his stay in Crawford by emphasizing that he kept working from home. Interesting anecdotes from his ranch days include his passion for mountain biking on paths he created and his fondness for having barbecues with employees and visitors. Bush's leadership style, which combines work, leisure, and introspection, is still evident at the ranch. FDR's Warm Springs Therapy. Franklin D. Roosevelt had a strong personal and symbolic bond with Warm Springs, Georgia. FDR bought the resort in 1927 after learning that the warm mineral waters helped him recover from the polio he contracted in 1921. He gradually turned Warm Springs into a polio recovery facility, not only for himself but also for innumerable other polio victims. He constructed a little White House there that protected him from the demanding demands of leadership. Roosevelt interacted with residents throughout his trips, learning about rural America, which informed his New Deal initiatives. One gripping tale is that FDR demonstrated compassion and resolve by asking polio-affected children to swim with him in the healing waters. Warm Springs represented resiliency and hope, reflecting FDR's conviction that individual and societal obstacles can be overcome. Recognizing his lasting influence, it is now a preserved historic site. Trump's MaraLago sojourns. Donald Trump's regular trips to his opulent Palm Beach, Florida estate, MaraLago, garnered media attention throughout his administration. Known as the Winter White House, MaraLago's developed band became a significant location for high-profile meetings, social gatherings, and official business. Trump combined diplomacy with the lavish setting of the estate by hosting dignitaries such as Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe there. The history of MaraLago is also fascinating. Heiress Marjorie Meriwether Post originally had it constructed in the 1920s to use it as a hideaway for American presidents. Although Trump's usage of the property was criticized for its expensive security and possible moral dilemmas, it also came to represent the combination of luxury and accessibility that characterizes his presidency. Decisions on everything from domestic policy to global problems were made against the backdrop of the estate's glittering walls and the views of the ocean. Beyond politics, MaraLago emphasized Trump's distinctive style, which is opulent, contentious, and unquestionably powerful. Biden's Delaware escapes. President Joe Biden's frequent vacations to Wilmington and Rehoboth Beach demonstrate his strong ties to Delaware. Biden frequently works from his private house in Wilmington, his boyhood home, which provides a comfortable environment. Biden enjoys bike rides, peaceful shoreline walks, and family time in Rehoboth Beach, which has a more laid-back vibe. His preference for comfortable surroundings over opulent retreats reflects his grounded temperament. Biden's team stresses that he's still actively involved, holding calls and meetings remotely, even though he has come under fire for the number of days he's been out of the White House. His frequent Sunday church attendance is a noteworthy tale that demonstrates his faith-based leadership style. Stories of informal meetings with Biden in neighborhood diners and coffee shops are familiar among Rehoboth's close-knit population. In addition to providing him with relaxation, these Delaware vacations allow him to demonstrate his relatable personality, which links him to regular Americans despite his significant responsibilities. Ford's ski trips. Gerald Ford's passion for skiing gave his public persona a distinctive touch. Ford was a skilled athlete who frequently visited the Vail, Colorado slopes to experience the exhilaration of the sport and the mountain air. But there was some controversy around his skiing excursions. He was criticized for failing to understand the hardships faced by many Americans in these challenging economic times. Ford maintained, however, that skiing was an essential means of maintaining mental and physical acuity. Ford's humor and tenacity were demonstrated during a well-publicized run when he nearly avoided a wipeout. His visits to Vail improved the town's standing, making it a top winter sports destination. Ford's time on the slopes wasn't simply for fun. It demonstrated his commitment to balance and the fact that even presidents require time away from the rigors of running a country. LBJ's Hill County Ranch. Often referred to as the Texas White House, President Lyndon B. Johnson's ranch reflected his profound ties to the Texas Hill Country. Johnson regularly had unofficial policy talks at the LBJ Ranch, a functioning cattle ranch that served as more than just a place to unwind. The expansive grounds of the ranch provide a tranquil setting for entertaining international guests, such as West German Chancellor Ludwig Erhard or Prime Minister Harold Wilson. Johnson had a reputation for engaging visitors with stories about his childhood while driving his Lincoln Continental around the grounds. Johnson's fixation on continuous connection is an intriguing aspect of the ranch. Dozens of phones were placed throughout the property, including in unexpected locations like trees and close to his favorite fishing site. The ranch represented Johnson's dual nature as a rugged Texan and a cunning politician, demonstrating his ability to balance his ties to his roots and the president's responsibilities. Coolidge's Vermont breaks. For the modest president, Calvin Coolidge's family home in Plymouth Notch, Vermont, stood as a haven of simplicity. Called Silent Cal, Coolidge took comfort in the peaceful country surroundings of his childhood home. He gained the affection of the American people by frequently working on agricultural projects during these retreats, such as chopping wood and milking cows. Coolidge's belief in traditional values was demonstrated by his love of simple pleasures, like strolling through the countryside or conversing with neighbors on his Vermont vacations. After President Warren G. Harding's death, Coolidge famously took the presidential oath of office at this residence, with his father, a notary public, administering the oath. This is an intriguing narrative from these breaks. Coolidge's tenure in Vermont solidified his reputation as a modest, unassuming leader, which struck a chord with a country yearning for stability. As a historic property, the homestead still embodies Coolidge's spirit of thrift and ties to rural America. Nixons San Clemente Hideaway. Richard Nixon's residence in San Clemente, California, known as the Western White House, provided the troubled president with political utility and tranquility. His discussions with Mexican President Gustavo Díaz Ordaz and Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev took place on the property perched on a bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Nixon sometimes took long walks on the beach during his stay at San Clemente, when he would recite notes to his staff or consider political obstacles. The calm surroundings of the estate were in stark contrast to Nixon's political unrest, which included the growing Watergate affair. The property represented both Nixon's hopes for peace and the scandals that characterized his presidency, making it a site of complex historical significance. A little-known fact is that Nixon grew a vegetable garden at the estate and quickly joked with staff about being a gentleman farmer. It still serves as a reminder of Nixon's West Coast heritage today. Hoover's fishing expeditions. For Herbert Hoover, fishing was a lifeline during turbulent times and was more than a pastime. From Virginia's Rapidan River, where he constructed a primitive presidential retreat, to California's Sierra Nevada streams, Hoover regularly searched America's most beautiful fishing locations. Hoover, known for being quiet and introspective, reportedly remarked, "Fishing is the chance to wash one's soul with pure air." During the Great Depression, his fishing excursions frequently served as brainstorming sessions when he considered strategies for economic recovery. Hoover's careful planning was an intriguing feature of his adventures. He insisted on cooking his catch over a campfire, which enhanced the experience's realism. Hoover's passion for fishing served as the impetus for his conservation efforts, which resulted in programs to protect natural areas and encourage outdoor activities. Hoover's reputation as a taciturn and analytical leader was offset by these fishing trips, which showed a softer, more approachable side to him. Teddy Roosevelt's nature adventures. Theodore Roosevelt never took a typical vacation. Roosevelt was an adventurous nature lover who believed the best way to unwind was to explore America's wild and unruly landscapes. His travels, from climbing mountains in the Rockies to herding cattle in the Badlands, exemplified his idea of the strenuous life. These journeys weren't only leisure pursuits but crucial turning points in Roosevelt's environmental activism. Roosevelt was inspired to extend the national park system by a famous narrative about his camping vacation in Yosemite in 1903 with naturalist John Muir. Roosevelt's travels were frequently full of daring activities like horseback riding through Yellowstone and hunting trips in the Dakotas. Roosevelt's perseverance is demonstrated by the fact that, after serving as president, he once escaped a nearly fatal trip in the Amazon. In addition to revitalizing him, his environmental explorations established the foundation for some of the most important conservation initiatives in the country, establishing a legacy that is still honored today. Wilson's Bermuda breaks. President Woodrow Wilson used Bermuda as a retreat for introspection and rest. Wilson escaped the stress of running a country amid a moment of upheaval thanks to the island's serene beaches and pastel-colored homes. Wilson frequently strolled along the picturesque coastline while there, using the opportunity to think over potential policies and compose persuasive speeches. A passionate golfer, Wilson developed his talents on Bermuda's famous courses, occasionally joining locals for unofficial games. This is one very intriguing detail. Wilson was reticent, but he occasionally interacted with islanders, making friends with them. His trips to Bermuda were not only a chance to unwind, they also allowed him to sharpen his mind. Wilson was better able to handle difficult situations like World War I and the Treaty of Versailles thanks to these calm respites. Wilson was influenced by Bermuda, which emphasizes how crucial it is to maintain perspective and equilibrium, even during historically significant events. Tafts Hot Springs visits. William Howard Taft's love of hot springs reflected his faith in the therapeutic value of the natural world. Taft, who was dealing with health problems and stress, used the healing properties of the mineral-rich waters to revitalize himself. He found comfort in the boiling waters of the hot springs of Virginia and Arkansas, two of his favorite locations. These trips represented his dedication to self-care at a time when his duties as president were more taxing, and they went beyond simple indulgence. Taft's playful comments about his girth while enjoying the springs, frequently joking about the buoyancy the waters offered, create an intriguing tale. Taft's retreats demonstrated how crucial mental and physical health are, especially for world leaders. His retreats to hot springs serve as a reminder of the importance of preserving equilibrium and health, providing a model for future presidents negotiating the demands of the presidency. Grant's coastal repose. Ulysses S. Grant's trips to the Jersey Shore, especially Long Branch, created famous moments of presidential relaxation. Grant, well known for his stoic manner and pragmatic outlook on life, took comfort in the sea breeze and the ease of living by the water. During Grant's time, Long Branch was a growing resort town that drew a diverse range of socialites, politicians, and business tycoons. However, Grant's trips were more about spending time with his family and interacting with locals than they were about grandeur. The construction of a presidential cottage where Grant would remain during his travels is an intriguing detail about his coastal getaways. Despite his illustrious Civil War hero record, this modest dwelling represented his lowly beginnings. As he struggled during his presidency, Grant also used his retreats for introspection. By solidifying Long Branch's standing as an early summer capital, these expeditions opened the door for other leaders to come after him. Harding's Beach House Moments. The much-criticized president's more relaxed and intimate side was revealed during Warren G. Harding's stay at his beach house in Marion, Ohio. Known for his friendly demeanor and passion for interacting with people, Harding regularly had casual get-togethers and poker games at the residence. The diverse spectrum of guests created a vibrant and laid-back environment, including personal friends and political allies. Harding's vacations were occasionally overshadowed by scandals in the government, such as the notorious Teapot Dome scandal, despite the relaxed atmosphere. But Harding's beach home retreats were more than just a place to relax. They gave him a much-needed break from the demands of politics. One interesting story is Harding's love of sports. He frequently played golf or baseball with his buddies by the shore on the spur of the moment. These incidents demonstrated his need for connection and friendship despite the chaos of his reign. His beach house adventures are now regarded as an insight into the character of a leader enduring a problematic term. McKinley's Atlantic City trips. His sporadic trips to Atlantic City demonstrated William McKinley's enjoyment of life's more minor pleasures. McKinley found the boardwalk's vibrant energy and coastal breezes revitalizing when Atlantic City became a popular beach resort. McKinley was known to take walks along the boardwalk, interact with people, and take in the busy scene. The city's lively blend of entertainment and peace provided the ideal escape from the stresses of Washington, D.C. McKinley's fondness for saltwater taffy, a famous dessert in Atlantic City at the time, is a distinctive aspect of his travels. His desire to maintain a connection with the people was also evident in these excursions, as he frequently spoke with tourists and business owners while there. McKinley left a legacy of approachable leadership with his coastal retreats, which highlighted the value of finding brief moments of calm among the duties of the presidency. Polk's Gulf Coast travels. James K. Polk's infrequent but significant travels to the Gulf Coast provided respites during his otherwise hectic presidency. Polk, well known for his unrelenting work ethic and obsession with gaining more territory, rarely had free time. His seaside resorts, however, offered a chance for introspection and relaxation. Polk had an opportunity to escape the political tumult and revitalize his body and mind thanks to the Gulf Coast's tranquil beaches and pleasant weather. One particularly special trip was a peaceful vacation in Pensacola, Florida, where Polk spent time with his wife, Sarah, and took in the pristine natural beauty. One noteworthy fact is that Polk recognized the strategic significance of southern ports and was motivated to assist their infrastructural development by his excursions around the Gulf Coast. These infrequent escapes highlighted the human aspect of a leader frequently remembered for his unwavering commitment to accomplishing national objectives. Polk's coastal vacation established a standard for other presidents to value brief respites. Andrew Jackson's Hermitage days. More than just a place to live, Andrew Jackson's Tennessee estate, the Hermitage, served as a haven where he could reconnect with his heritage and find comfort away from the contentious politics of his presidency. The Hermitage's expansive fields and lush gardens mirrored Jackson's strong ties to the land and his identity as a self-made man. During his visits, Jackson frequently examined his crops, conversed with his enslaved labor force, and entertained guests. Jackson's passion for horse racing was an intriguing feature of his tenure at the Hermitage. He kept a stable of thoroughbreds and regularly went to races in neighboring Nashville. The fiery leader, well known for his populist policies and violent temperament, showed a softer, more intimate side during these leisurely moments. The Hermitage gave Jackson the motivation and stability he needed to face the difficulties of his administration by representing his idea of a brutal, independent America. James Madison's Montpelier relaxation. In Virginia's undulating hills, James Madison's estate, Montpelier, served as a retreat for intellectual and personal renewal. Madison, frequently called the Father of the Constitution, would spend his vacations there writing and reflecting. Madison's love of reading and writing flourished in the tranquil setting of Montpelier. The estate became a center of Enlightenment-era conversations as Madison and his wife Dolly hosted regular meetings with influential people of the time. Madison's commitment to experimental farming is one fascinating aspect. At Montpelier, he used crop rotation and other cutting-edge methods, demonstrating his scientific curiosity. He also took walks about the estate's vast grounds during his stay there, when the natural surroundings inspired him. As a reminder of the long-lasting link between individual well-being and capable leadership, Montpelier provided Madison with a healthy mix of academic stimulation and peace. Jefferson's Monticello breathers. The cherished home of Thomas Jefferson, Monticello, was a haven of creativity and a masterwork of architecture. Jefferson's escape from the rigors of public life was Monticello, a mansion perched on a mountaintop with a view of the Virginia countryside. Jefferson spent his holidays engaging in various intellectual and recreational activities. He frequently threw himself into writing, gardening, and building projects. The home represents Jefferson's complex nature with clever features such as a clock that keeps track of the days of the week and hidden dumbwaiters. Taking care of his vast vegetable garden, featuring exotic species he grew from seeds returned by explorers, was one of Jefferson's favorite activities while living at Monticello. Jefferson's passion for wine is an intriguing story. He kept a cellar filled with international wines and hosted wine tastings for visitors. More than just a house, Monticello served as Jefferson's intellectual laboratory and a window into his creative mind, providing him with inspiration and tranquility all his life. Washington's Potomac paddles. His relationship with the Potomac River exemplified George Washington's affinity for the natural world. Washington frequently took in the breathtaking vistas of the river from Mount Vernon, his residence in Virginia, while sailing or fishing in peace. These events provided a unique window into the stoic leader's personal life. Washington's admiration for the Potomac extended beyond his free time. He saw it as an essential commercial corridor and devoted his life to advancing its growth as a route for transportation. One fascinating aspect of his river trips is that Washington was a pioneer in conservation, understanding the value of protecting the ecology of the Potomac. Since he frequently invited visiting dignitaries to join him, his leisurely paddles and fishing excursions also provided chances for unofficial diplomacy. These peaceful Potomac moments demonstrated the humanity of a leader who balanced the demands of nation-building and a profound admiration for the splendor of nature. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon